Good morning. What is up? What is up? We are ready to go, baby. And it looks like we're starting off the day with a range. Sometimes that's not a good thing, but this is a nice consistent range, so might even offer a setup. Good morning, Paul. Hey, Bill. Good morning, Tommy. Hey, Jess. Dang, foot of snow at the beach in North Carolina. That's wild. Zooming out to make sure we got the correct key levels. Got a couple unbroken highs above us. So we're like basically at the top of yesterday's range. There was no sign of selling at all yesterday, so maybe we'll have some follow through from buyers today. Good morning, Roberta. Also, here is the NQ. Gonna be opening, looks like right on yesterday's high, but it also is in a little range. If we can get to that range support and get a good setup, I'll take a long. Morning, Neil. As far as news goes today, we don't really have anything significant at all today. So we're just going to be going over regular positioning by institutions, regular conviction. We don't really have any outside assistance that could create a catalyst. That's scheduled at least, right? We do have some earnings. Yeah, nothing major today. AMD is after the close, which is, somewhat significant. The big thing will be tomorrow after the close is Google. Thursday after the close is Amazon. Got just a couple minutes to the open here. Prices have slowed down significantly. NQ working its way down to the range. Good morning, Jonathan. Hey, Michael. If the S&P puts in a nice bullish bar here, I am going to consider taking this long. Market is just about to open. Paul, congrats on that payout, man. Good work. Been killing it. Okay, I'm watching for this bar here. Did not form. We got a bearish bar. It's possibly forming on the Nasdaq, turned into a doji though. Still waiting. We're right around support. Still could get a nice little bar here to take along at the range low. Yeah, that's a good one. Shoot, I did not get my order in. See if we can get filled before it takes off. Ah, bummer. Bummer. Well, I gave you a play-by-play, so hopefully someone was able to take that. Nice little scalp. It's got up to the EMA. I'd probably get out around there, or at least start trailing the stop. Get that push down now. Yes is still right around range support. However, we do have a bearish tilt to this action now, as we were unable to go to the top of the range off of that bounce. So it makes it a little bit more sketchy to take a long at this point. I think I'll still give it a go just in case. Pretty small risk here. See if this actually triggers. Oops. Did that even trigger? It did not. I gotta get out of this. Bummer. That wasn't even supposed to take that trade. It did not actually trigger. Never made a new high there above the previous bar. So a little too bearish at this point. Nasdaq is dropping off. Possibility that we have a wider downtrend starting to form, and I could consider a short if that breakout level holds. ES is not joining along yet. It's still just kind of hovering right around that range support. Especially watching Nasdaq for a potential short, as it has been substantially weaker than the S&P. Possible it'll overshoot of that move down, so that could hinder our chances. We will see. Right now, the S&P and the Nasdaq doing different things, so that makes it also tricky to take a trade. Nasdaq breaking down below its range, S&P holding it. Bruno, thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully it's helpful for you to watch that. Hey, you don't have to be clicking buttons all day. And yeah, really the path to becoming disciplined is just realizing, oh, if I'm not, I'll lose a lot of money and I can't trade. If I want to trade, I just have to be disciplined. So it's like going to the gym. It's like eating vegetables. You know you need to do it, so you just do it. Still watching that possible Nasdaq short. We're not really at the EMA anymore, and we really need to see the S&P following along. All right, now the S&P is moving down below the range. So that will significantly help our odds on a short. We just need to pull back, got to get back to that entry point for our trade. Looking for a second entry short. S&P trying. NQ looking good too. So all the stars are aligning now. We got a nice little trend on both indices. They're doing the same thing. We're expecting the same thing. So now let's see what a pullback looks like. All right, ES is pulled back. Needs to show a resistance here. We do not want to see it go back into the range. We do have to respect this little correction trend, which we are still in. Can't short unless that's while that is still active. Okay, here we go. We're not in the correction trend anymore. Let's see if we can get a lower high. It's looking good so far. If this bar closes bearish, I will be taking it. Woo! There we go. The only problem is NQ is not on a pullback, so if it pulls back, it is going to likely push the S&P up. That's all right. You gotta take a risk on that. And we will still look to take it. We get below the EMA and get a lower high. And the next one will have a much higher chance of success. The Nasdaq's going along with it. Oh, dang. Holy cow. That's news like... Get out of that before it gets crazy. Let's see what's going on the news front. The Nasdaq pushed down. That was a little overshoot there. Meanwhile, the S&P's trend has been played out with that break a new low. So either way, we would expect a bounce up. Big push down, and again, price action wise, we would assume that this trend is played out, but you never know with a move like that. You could get some crazy follow through. Looks like Barkin is doing some talking, so that's the reason for this news here. All right, there's that bounce that we're expecting. Getting a bounce on NQ as well. And we're going to monitor this move up, see if it develops into a legitimate trend to the upside, in which case we will start looking for longs. Here's that little uptrend I'm monitoring on ES. Could have considered a double higher low, but we are not touching the EMA right now. NQ not able to get above the 21, making another leg down, and I would actually consider a lower high for a short if we can get it. ES also starting to drop a little bit. Still have not really determined a bias for the day. Buyers and sellers are still pairing off. It's more bearish than bullish, but that could all change very quickly. We had a trend in play. This lower high on the S&P would be quite tempting. But technically speaking, the downtrend's already been played out. Oof, that's so tempting though. Look how fast it's reversing. Better judgment will win out though. Still trading below the 21. In Q, we would still expect a new low to be formed, which looks like we're going to get here in just a minute. There it is. So now the downtrend has been played out on both indices, and we'll wait to see if the bulls can step in and actually correct this market back to the upside. Pretty strong push here. We do have some selling pressure. If we do not get a correction by the bulls and we keep making new lows, we'll be adjusting to some sort of wider downtrend and continuing to look for shorts. This is definitely not the time to chase a short after this trend just played out. It's where people get burned trying to chase a trend that is already done or potentially done, right? Even if it does continue and we do have a larger trend, you don't want to be chasing at the bottom of a push phase. You want to wait for the pullbacks. play around with what this would look like if we do have some sort of larger trend. Something like this perhaps, but even that has an overshoot. Let's see what we have on the NQ. Nice, that actually fits pretty well. So we'll see what happens on this next pullback. If we just completely blow past the EMA, blow past that channel line, we'll delete the wider trend. But if the EMA holds, if we are showing signs of continuing to go down, we will look for that short. Dang, dude, this just keeps dropping. Yeah, so this is not looking like a trend that's played out. It's looking like something legit. To keep it in perspective, though, we have not even broken yesterday's low. So as strong as this may look on a daily level, this is really not much. But nevertheless, got to follow what's happening today. Got some selling pressure. We're going to be looking for the next short. Rumo is long NQ. Yikes. Would not recommend that. The trend is your friend, people. It may work today, but it will not. That strategy will not work long term. I can promise you that. Very, very common misconception. Probably one of the most common mistakes that new traders make is they try to predict bottoms and tops. You will not be profitable doing that. Hey, Martin, good morning. So waiting for the pullback on ES, and then we will look to short. All right, here we are back at the 21. Let's see if this offers any resistance or not. Cricket, good morning to you. Yikes is right. Right, here's a little bit of resistance at the EMA. If we can get a lower high, that will be a second entry short. I will take that trade. Here's the second leg of the pullback. See if this bar ends bearish. Nope. Looks better on NQ for the time being. See if we get a bearish bar at the EMA. Did not get the signal bar we're looking for. But the good thing is this trend is still valid on NQ. We can continue to look for shorts even if we don't get the setup here. S&P very close to making a new low there. Really hard to take a trade here as the trend is all jacked up. NQ looks much better by far, and it is approaching. Maybe is this yesterday's low? No, it's not. No, we're already below yesterday's low. But this is an unbroken low from last week. So this will be pretty significant if we can break through. S&P bouncing after that little trend played itself out. We had to move down, break out of that channel. New low was made, so now we would expect a correction. I'm still not interested in longs. I think we have a better opportunity going short, especially since NQ still in play. NQ is back at the 21. Let's see if this has resistance and we can consider a setup. The only thing that is not good anymore is that S&P is already played out, so we could get a bounce here. But nevertheless, I will take a short on NQ. Looking for that next bearish bar at the EMA. Looks like NQ is about to make a new low, challenge that key level. ES bulls not stepping in here. So with that, it does look like we're still in a downtrend on the S&P. If that trend was played out, we would have seen some sort of correction there. Not seeing it. NQ is pausing right on this key level. That's at an unbroken low. Very possible that we get a bigger pullback at some point here. All right, let's see if we get another lower high here. Just being cautious because, again, we could have a deep pullback here. We've been going down with really very little in the realm of a pullback. So when that happens, eventually you'll get a deeper one. Want to see this try to push up, right? We want to see this get past all of these highs here. That will draw in the bulls, and then if this bar can turn around bearish, they will very likely be trapped and we can get a good short. So watching this very closely here. See if this bar can turn around. Not on that one. We got to close above the EMA. Watching on NQ, seeing how this bar closes. If it's bearish, I'll take it. If not, we'll wait. It's looking like a wait. ES had a pretty strong push up too. Still needing the push below the EMA and a lower high at this point. Unable to get through the EMA that time. There's the push below the EMA. Now we need that lower high. We may not get it. This may just launch to a new low. There's a lower high. It's not quite touching the EMA. Good morning, Freedom. Crying shame there, guys. Did not get the setup we were looking for. But yet again, the good thing is that the trend is still valid. And actually, ES has it even made a new low? It did by a tick, but either way, we still have an opportunity to get a short. Probably should have just risked that lower high given the strong bias, even though it was not at the EMA. That's probably one of those trades you risk understanding the context. So if you took that, good on you. I probably should have, but oh well. We'll look for a setup on the next pullback. And that's a big lesson in trading, guys, that everyone you gotta learn at some point, is that you will not get every opportunity. There's countless opportunities in the market to get a trade, and you're not going to get them all. And when you miss one, it can be really frustrating. I'm certainly like bummed out I didn't get a move or a trade on that move down. It can definitely be frustrating, but if you let that frustration take over, it will lead to bad trading decisions, right? If you're like, oh, dang, I missed that. I got to get in another one. I got to find a setup. That's when you're going to start to spiral out of control, take things that aren't really there. Like, you just got to brush it off. Like, oh, shoot, missed that one. Okay, I'll look for the next. That's the kind of mindset you need to have. That will set you up for success. So there's so many opportunities. Market's not going anywhere. So you don't need to sweat the small stuff. But yeah, watching this next pullback. This may be the deeper pullback variety here. It does kind of look like NQ may be played out. We had a little close outside of the channel here, break to the new low. This may be played out. We're right at the key level. I could certainly see the market getting back above and using that as support. So we'll pause looking for shorts for a moment until we see a confirmation below that level. Continued movement to the downside. And we definitely know our bias today, right, guys? Certainly not looking long. Look for opportunities to short. That's what it is. That's what the market's telling us. So hopefully it's been a good morning for you. I'm pretty confident we're going to get some more setups today. So going to be hunting those with the Discord team. Hope to see you over there. Yeah. I think we still have a Apex sale too, 90% off. Take advantage of that. Safe trading today, guys. Make it a good one, and I will see you soon. Later.